You are the creator. You make cities.
Expansion permits, on the other hand, are used for expanding your city's playable area. You may just need a little bit more room to expand, or you may want to purchase some extra tiles to gain access to some important natural resources that are just out of your city's borders. At this stage, your zones should start to sprout into buildings, so feel free to increase the simulation speed to make things go a bit faster. I always recommend that you periodically check your city information window, as it gives you a good indication on what type of zone is in demand, as well as displaying what factors are influencing the level of demand for each type of zone. In the very early stages of Cities Skylines 2, you'll start with 3 different types of zoning: low-density residential, commercial, and industrial. New to Cities Skylines 2, as you progress in the game and unlock different milestones, you'll unlock more types of zones, such as offices, and eventually high-density residential. For example, the medium-density residential that you see down below was unlocked at our very first milestone, Tiny Town. As businesses and residents move into your city, you'll notice that your industrial demand begins to rise. It's time to build your first industrial zone. Just like in Cities Skylines 1, you'll want to place your industrial buildings away from your city, as the air pollution that's produced by them will directly affect your citizens' health. However, in Cities Skylines 2, air pollution can actually be carried by the wind. Make sure you check the wind direction prior to placing your industrial buildings by going into your info view, then down to air pollution. It's also very important to check your water pollution info view to make sure that you're not placing any industrial buildings on top of a groundwater deposit. Whoops. The last item I'll touch on in this tutorial is your city economy window. Early game, there's not a whole lot that you can do here, however you can view some important info about your city's finances. Don't worry too much if you're not making a lot of money or even losing money early game, as you will always have the government subsidies to act as a cushion for your finances. As more and more people and businesses move into your city, you'll be able to collect more tax dollars. The most important takeaway when it comes to city finances is not to overspend on city services until you have a healthy, stable income. I'll go more into detail on city finances in a later video. Once you've chosen a map and you're loaded into your game, you'll be presented with your starting tile, which is represented by these white lines. And this is simply the area in which you can build. The playable area will grow as you earn expansion permits as you progress through the game. The first thing to do in your new city is to start building a basic road layout. Go into your roads menu and explore the different road options that you have. I always recommend that you build a 4-lane medium road as a main arterial connection into your city. And from there, you can use smaller roads to branch off into your residential neighborhoods. Feel free to be as creative as you want with your road layout. However, be mindful of how your traffic is going to flow in and out of your city, as traffic volumes are going to increase as your city grows. You want to make sure to have a good network of arterial roads running across your city to collect the higher volumes of traffic that are going to be generated from the different neighborhoods and businesses alongside them. In Cities Skylines 2, traffic AI behaves a bit differently than in Cities Skylines 1. Rather than only choosing the shortest route to their destination, in Cities Skylines 2, traffic will determine how to get to their destination based on multiple factors such as traffic congestion and travel time. A good road network will ensure that your city's traffic flows smoothly and that services are able to get to their destination quicker, but it will also help prevent car accidents and traffic jams from occurring. And also be sure to take advantage of all the new road building tools included in Cities Skylines 2, such as Roundabout and the Grid tool. Once you have a basic road network laid out, it's time to begin placing essential services such as water and electricity. Let's start with electricity. The first thing to do is to choose how you're going to power your city. You'll see in your power menu that you have the choice between 2 power plants, wind or a small coal power plant. For starting a city, I prefer building some wind turbines as it's a cheaper option compared to the coal power plant. However, with wind power generation, you must make sure that your map has the right environmental factors to support a wind farm. Go into your info views, then into your electricity menu to make sure that your map has the wind speed required. In this case, I'm good to go. However, there's actually a third method of power generation new to Cities Skylines 2, which is importing electricity from elsewhere. If you have high voltage power lines running into your starting square, you can simply place down a transformer station near them, connect the high voltage lines to the transformer station, and your city will automatically begin importing electricity as needed. This is a very cost-effective way of powering your city early game until you can afford your own power plant. Of course, it's going to cost you a lot more per megawatt when importing electricity, so be sure to keep an eye on your power usage, as it will eventually become cheaper to run your own power plant than to import power. And remember, power lines are now run underneath all roads except highways in Cities Skylines 2, so no more running random strings of power lines all over your city. Now let's take a look at water and sewage, which is equally as important as electricity. When you go into your water and sewage menu, you'll immediately find that all your roads automatically have water pipes underneath them. That's right, no need to run water pipes all across your city like in Cities Skylines 1. In Cities Skylines 2, there are 3 methods of extracting water from your map. The first method is a water pumping station, which can be placed near any body of water such as lakes and rivers. The second option is a water tower, which can be placed anywhere on the map. However, this option is a bit more expensive. The third option is a groundwater pumping station, which is a bit cheaper. The only thing you'll have to watch out for is the groundwater pumping station needs to be placed on top of a groundwater deposit shown here in blue. In this case, I'm going to go with the groundwater pumping station. Don't forget to place a sewage outlet as well to expel your city's dirty water. And be very careful where you place your sewage outlet, as it creates a lot of water pollution which is carried downstream by the current. And lastly, don't forget to connect your sewage outlet to the rest of your sewer network. Finally, once all your basic city services are laid down, it's time to start zoning your city. Your residential demand is most likely very high, so I would start with that. Also make sure to zone a little bit of commercial here and there, mostly along your main roads, and they should immediately start to build. Soon after your city starts building, you should be hit with your first milestone. In Cities Skylines 2, milestones work differently than in Cities Skylines 1. Instead of unlocking milestones based on population alone, you'll earn XP towards your next milestone by placing buildings and roads when your city's happiness increases, as well as when your population increases. Click on the progression panel to see exactly what you've unlocked at your current milestone. Each milestone you unlock will reward you with a lump sum of money, some progression points, as well as some expansion permit.
They are the veins and arteries of your city's beating heart. Every pathway you carve out shapes the routine every day and opens the door to the extraordinary events that define their lives. City building starts with roads. Roads allow people, goods, and services to move through your city, of course. And in Cities Skylines 2, all roads except for highways automatically carries water, electricity, and sewage lines. It's a shortcut that lets you focus on what you love about city building sooner. You'll construct and refine your road network using road tools. They're easy to learn and flexible, inviting you to follow your creative impulses. Returning players will welcome upgrades to the road tools that introduce several of the most wished-for features. Other features are totally new. Use the road tools to create seamless city blocks in just 3 clicks. In no time, you'll lay long, beautiful stretches of road to link lively residential and industrial districts to your buzzing city center. Just like that, you'll thread traffic along wide, curving streets and elegant, elevated highways. You'll even add bridges and tunnels in only a few clicks. Intersections have been overhauled in Cities Skylines 2. Placement rules are less restrictive, and you can use pre-made intersections on new and existing roads. You can also add roundabouts. Yep, they're here. From gentle suburban roundabouts to roaring multi-lane roundabouts, it's never been easier to engineer uninterrupted streams of traffic. That's because roads will be configured automatically, so vehicles can enter and exit the roundabout safely. Simply drop your preferred roundabout over an existing intersection and ta-da! A whole new way to move people, goods, and services through your city. Decide the direction of traffic and how it flows by placing traffic lights, crosswalks, and directional no-turn traffic signs and stop signs. Erect sound barriers and construct parking lots. That's another new feature in Cities Skyline 2. And for returning players, it means Christmas has come early. You can even add decorative touches if you want to. They don't just make your city pretty, they can be useful too. So those trees you use to line sidewalks? Add charm and reduce noise pollution. Of course, building a city is a process of exploration and experimentation. You'll try stuff out, Some of it you'll like, and some you won't. Want to change an existing road? Use the new Replace tool. It's like the old Upgrade tool, but with more freedom to refine your road network. Change your mind about a road? Bulldoze tool to the rescue. Click, 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 and that road is a thing of the past. Road building is more intuitive and nuanced in Cities Skylines 2, and every pathway has a far-reaching impact, but with the variability and pace of a real city. So you should expect the same order and chaos that emerges when countless individual decisions are made all at once. It's a level of vibrant realism you've never seen before, and it's powered by the deep simulation of traffic AI. How people move from A to B in your city is called pathfinding. Previously, pathfinding meant choosing the shortest route by distance, but ignoring factors like travel time and traffic congestion was less than ideal. Pathfinding has changed. In Cities Skylines 2, 4 main factors influence how people move through your city. These factors are called pathfinding costs. People weigh up these costs to decide where to go and how to get there. The path with the lowest cost is the path they choose. But how people weigh up these costs is very different. To help you understand, let's walk through the 4 pathfinding costs. Time is usually the most important pathfinding cost. Everyone will pick their quickest route to their destination if they can. Comfort is another pathfinding cost. Who doesn't want a smooth journey? Wouldn't you avoid tricky intersections if you could? The availability, convenience, and cost of parking will now impact where people choose to go and how to get there. Easy parking is actually the deciding factor for some people when choosing where to socialize and spend their money. That's another pathfinding cost: money. Fuel, parking, and public transport tickets can seriously add up. So it's a factor in where people choose to go and how they get there. The final factor influencing pathfinding is behavior, or how likely people are to engage in risky maneuvers on the road. U-turns, lane hopping, and speeding can reduce travel times, lower fuel consumption, and avoid some of the inconvenient aspects of travel. To keep pathfinding costs low, people will reroute if something happens on their journey. For example, if they get caught behind a traffic accident that takes too long to clear, they'll find another way to get where they're going. Hang on. Traffic accidents? Afraid so. Drivers can lose control and crash their vehicles into traffic and buildings. Yikes. You see, things like wet roads, extreme weather events, and the time of day can increase the risk of a collision. But it's actually poor road conditions that should keep you awake at night. Want to reduce the risk of serious mishaps? Send your road maintenance crew out ASAP. Traffic AI has improved pathfinding so much that you can now grow a larger population. But remember, a big population brings opportunities and challenges. 2 info views can help you plan and react when life takes a left turn. Traffic Info View takes the guesswork out of traffic management. It delivers a real-time overview of how much traffic is on your road network and traffic, so you can resolve problems quickly. Deep simulation transforms the movement of people, goods, and services through your city into the pulsing reality of a living, breathing city. But how people choose their path? That is always a response to the world around them.